Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP's girlfriend is now heavily regretting her decision. Let's begin. My girlfriend wanted an open relationship, so I broke up with her. Now she wants to get back together. Posted by Reddit user _open not for me.
I'm 23, was dating my ex up until a month ago. We were together for 4 years before that. So before we broke up, she was acting distant for a good month then. As of last month, sat me down and asked for an open relationship. The minute those words came out of her mouth, I broke up with her. I came into this relationship expecting a monogamous relationship, and now she wanted to change the relationship. I only want to be with one person. If we couldn't agree on that, saw no future. With the way she was acting before this, I can't trust her. And even if she wasn't acting shady, I wouldn't be able to trust her anyway for suggesting it. Those are some of the reasons I decided to break up with her on that moment, even though it might seem harsh. In my opinion, if someone wants a relationship like that, the relationship should start like that for it to be healthy, not just dumped on your partner after years of monogamy. Now I've been getting texts and voicemails from her crying to take her back and that she didn't mean it. I'm not sure what to think. Some people have been telling me that I acted too rash and didn't even give us time to work it out, and that it was cruel of me to do that. Is this something I acted too quick with or not? TLDR, girlfriend suggested open relationship. I broke it off, now she wants to get back together. Update. I thought I would give an update since people messaged me to post one when I can. I didn't expect to update this soon though. After posting and expressing to some people that I had a suspicion she cheated on me, I couldn't get the nagging feeling out of my head. I didn't want to know at first, but decided to go dig and ask mutual friends what ex had been up to that month she was acting shady. I didn't expect one of her closest friends to spill the beans, but she did. My suspicions were correct. She had been cheating on me with a mutual friend's cousin. I decided to message the guy on Facebook. When I messaged him, he wanted to meet in person, so I met him at a local pub. When I got there, he apologized and explained everything. How he didn't know she was in a relationship, and that the day she called me wanting me back is the day he found out and broke it off. I can't fault the guy. He seemed genuine and really apologetic. On the plus side, I drank for free the entire time. He seems like a great guy, especially considering how he broke it off right away once he knew. I won't lie, he's a handsome and great guy, and I would let him fuck me to rub it in my ex's face, lol. But at least I have a bit of closure now. I've blocked my ex on everything, and I'm gathering her stuff she's left here to mail to her so she doesn't come knocking. It's taking a lot of power not to leave a note in the box along the lines of "Mark seems nice, too bad you lost him too. Sorry if some of this makes no sense. I'm typing this on phone and my fat thumbs are doing me no favors. It also doesn't help I'm a bit tipsy, but I'm glad I could vent and get advice from you beautiful fuckers of Reddit. TLDR, she was cheating."
OP, good job. You trusted your instincts and you got rid of your cheating girlfriend. And you know what? Why not add the note too? Let her know that you know she's a fucking liar. Good luck to you, my friend. And now for today's second story. My ex-friend made fun of my girlfriend's weight, so I got him fired from his job and ruined his life prospects. Posted by Reddit user Kev.
This is long. Brace yourself. I am autistic. For the first decade and a bit of my life, I was self-centered, apathetic, and completely lacked any sort of social skills. Until I got to high school. These two boys, I'll call them John and Dave, in my digital class seemed to tolerate me. They were funny, and they found me funny. They were friends with a guy in my form class, Steve, and from there I found myself accepted into the group pretty quickly. I branched out as a person. I finally learned to talk to people properly. In hindsight, year 10 was an iffy year. Steve and John would mock my interests. I loved the music of Leonard Cohen. He died that year and they took the piss out of how upset I was. Eventually, going into year 11, I learned to take it and just thought it was any old regular banter between a friend group. This is where Pete comes into the picture. Pete was sort of the first friend I ever made back in middle school. He'd come round to my house and spend the weekend. But, unbeknownst to me at the time, he was using me. He'd hog my Xbox and other such things I can't remember anymore. One time my mum made us both this pristine fucking glass of cocoa. It had whipped cream, marshmallows on top, the whole fucking works. I knew very well that this was just a treat. But Pete wanted me to go and ask my mum for another one. So I did, and right then and there she saw straight fucking through that cunt like he was a pane of triple glazed glass. She knew I'd never be so daring to ask for something like that, and so later on in the evening she came into the room to check up on us. Pete was on the Xbox. My mum very gently told him that, it's my Xbox too, and I probably wouldn't mind to go on it. The next day, I went up to Pete, and the first thing he said to me was, "Go away, Kev. Nobody likes you." That was it. He didn't want anything to do with me from then on. He bullied me for the rest of my time at middle school. Back to year 11, and Pete's in my history class for the year. Says it's time to call it quits. Well, we're like two peas in a fucking pod from then on. My parents, somewhat unsurprisingly, will only let him stay for one night now, if even that. Pete gets me into smoking weed. Then year 12 comes along, and the whole posse is now a group of stoners. If weed isn't involved, we don't go out to see each other. Later on in the year, Pete steals some oxycodone from his granddad's cancer-riddled partner right before she died. The same granddad he claimed to love like a dad. We get kicked out of another mate's house for being too loud, and so we sat in my car for the rest of the night, fucked up on oxys and bud. Since Pete only listens to mumble rap, I'm showing him some of my all-time favorite songs. Dire Straits, Godspeed You. Black Emperor, the song Maggot Brain, Tool, as much music as I can cram into a single night. Well, this night was the turning point. I'd been playing guitar for 2 years up until this time, and it was this night that Pete decides we should make music. According to him, we'd use my instrumental skills, combine them with his rap production skills or lack thereof. He thought that'd be something easy to pick up and we'd be famous in no time. Of course, in hindsight, his actual plan was to get me to do all the work and then slap his name on it. We moved in with his granddad the following year, and he claimed he wanted to learn the bass. Wouldn't stop talking for fucking months about how good of a bass player he wanted to become. I get a 6-string Ibanez bass for Christmas, and he never picks it up. All the bass talk goes out the window. It was the keyboard now. Of course, the exact same thing happened then, only I paid for the keyboard myself. We lived with his granddad for a year, right up until he died. I moved back in with my parents, and by this time Pete had influenced me and changed me so much that my relationship with them was pretty much ruined. For example, Pete found a box of my mom's old VHS tapes. She has an extremely rare tape of Song of the South. That cunt influenced me to sell and attempt to sell so much of my parents' belongings for his own gain. My mom still has her videos, thank God, but other things like some of my dad's cassettes weren't as lucky. Anyway, because of this, living with them this time around was a lot harder. I didn't understand why then. I certainly do now. Anyway, from 2020 to 2021 nothing much really happened. We both went from job to job, although I'd be staying at mine for a lot longer than he would. He'd have a job for 3 months, quit, then be unemployed for 9. We were trying to save up for our own place together, because we absolutely fucking needed to, otherwise the whole music plan wouldn't work out. 2022 rolls around. Pete's living at John's parents', which was only supposed to be for 6 weeks while he found another rental, working as a healthcare assistant, and I meet a woman. From the get-go, Pete was trying to convince me not to go and see her, but I did. For the first month or so, I'd have to drive 2 hours up north to see her. It was worth every second. We made it official after less than 3 weeks of seeing each other in person. In a pretty risky move at the time, she moved in with me at my parents' after a month of dating. Since they were so used to Pete and his behavior, they were pretty hard on us at first. But they warmed up to her quick as a flash. My girlfriend and I would be looking at houses every day, sending them to Pete. There is always something wrong with them. Too dodgy, oh no, that's on a main road. My cat's not very smart when it comes to cars, even though his granddad's house was on a main road and the cat was fine. It doesn't even take a week before my girlfriend is sick of his shit, and we pretty quickly agree that we're better off just moving in on our own. It took me a couple weeks after that to pluck up the courage to tell Pete. I knew he wouldn't like it. Once the time came around, he blew up like a little kid, saying I'm jeopardizing the music, etc. We didn't speak for a month after that. During that month, I finally realized how much his presence has poisoned my life. So I blocked him. He was quick to text me, telling me let's just please talk this out. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Once I explained why I blocked him, he went from that mentality to actually maybe it is a good idea we're not friends anymore. All of that shit is both of our faults in literally the blink of an eye. He did the rest of the work for me. Blocked my number, blocked me on Instagram, even blocked me on fucking Spotify. The only thing he left out was Discord. After Dave failed to pay us back $110 even after asking him multiple times, my girlfriend and I stopped talking to him. There was 4 months of silence. 4 months, until Pete sent a message to the Discord that he'll probably regret for the rest of his life if he has even a milligram of self-awareness. Somebody sent a video of a woman drinking canola oil straight out of the bottle, and Pete chimes in with POV, Kev's missus. My girlfriend is a big woman. She's dealt with shit like that her whole life, so I was seeing fucking red. One detail I've left out of this story, for good reason, is that Pete would send photos and videos of one of his clients to the Snapchat group. Now, that alone could get him fired. But it gets worse. The client in question is disabled, both physically and mentally, and completely nonverbal. I saved the videos at the time, but didn't do anything because I was terrified of what he'd do to me. Despite his hyping up of his own physique, I was gifted with the body of Hercules. As my girlfriend puts it, it's more like Socrates. I'm the only person he's ever put his hands on. But now was the time. I didn't give a fuck anymore. I emailed his work, and I sent them everything. Showed the cops too. He was fired on the spot. No pay, nothing. He tried to run away to his dad's house 3 hours away, but the dumbass forgets that I've met his dad. I've been there before. So I go into my Google Maps timeline and give the police the information they need. Week after that, he's back at John's parents', where his car has sat ever since. God knows what the fuck he's told them for them to let him keep living there. Out of 11 people in that group chat, only one still has me added. I got a message from Steve on New Year's Day. Fuck, I'd hate to be you soft cunt, you dogged Pete for that fat gross bitch. I just sent him a shrugging shoulder emoji. After another couple messages from him along the lines of die cunt, I ask him WTF has Pete told all of you anyway. I haven't received a response. But here I am, coming up to a year with the love of my life now, in our own place, with a steady dual income. We see my parents every week now. Pete's still got no job. John's still being cheated on by his girlfriend who he refuses to leave. And Dave's gone from welding apprentice to supermarket shelf stacker. I realize now how much of a bunch of losers they really are. And I remind my girlfriend every day that I made the best decision of my life to stick up for her and stick by her.
You know what? The only thing I'm sad about is how long it took you to figure out how big of an ass your ex-friend was. And you absolutely did the right thing. Fuckers like that should never, ever be allowed anywhere near vulnerable people. I'm glad that you got the fuck out of that toxic circle. Time to make better friends, OP. And it's good to hear that you are living a normal, healthy adult life. It only gets better from here. Good luck, my friend. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.